Starting 1 second. All right, whenever you're ready.
Give me a moment. I'm just gonna have the game in the background on my phone. That way I don't need to leave. Here, you won't be able to see it. It starts in like 10 minutes. Anyways. Hello guys and welcome back to the MMA Brothers podcast. It's Daryl.
It's Asher.
We're talking UFC Fight Night Overeem versus Volkov post-fight show. So we're going to walk you through who won the fight and what we think is next for each fighter. So we'll start off at the bottom of the main card, and it was Slowmike versus Danilo Marquez. And Slowmike got slowly tapped out, choked out, man. He's a very, very good striker, but his game is not well-rounded enough for him to face anyone in the top 15 as of right now. So I think he's just got to fine-tune a few things. He's a phenomenal fighter. He's a good, very, very good fighter, very tough. Not an easy out for anyone, but Danilo just showed his prowess on the ground and his wrestling offense, top control, taking his back. It was something to behold. I'd love to see Danilo versus the 15th ranked light heavyweight. See how that goes, because he's got a very, very good style in order for him to progress up the rankings. Because if you're a wrestling and submission dominant fighter, it's much easier to move up the rankings, I find, than a striker. Because a striker, you're going to get caught eventually, right? But as a wrestler, there's less and less chance of that happening. So that's what I thought about the fight. What do you think, Asher?
Definitely, my Slowmike was moving hella slow in that fight. I don't know what it was. I know he's not been the most explosive guy, but he's been really, really good in the Muay Thai clinch. I guess the guy that he just fought with, Danilo Marquez, was just the more superior grappler, because in previous fights, I know Michael Rodriguez is a big light heavyweight, so has been able to kind of muscle his way through or grapple his way through a lot of his wins with his Muay Thai. But it just didn't work out in this fight, and you could see there was an experience gap between the two fighters. So I'm sure Slowmike is gonna get back on his horse and then try and face an opponent with a little bit less experience next time, so he can get a win and get his confidence back. But solid win by Danilo, whatever, you know what I'm saying. But anyways, we're gonna move on. Next fight that we had was Benio Daryush versus Diego Ferreira. So this fight, our boy Benio Daryush, he got the dub. It was a split decision, and he was really upset about that. I thought it was pretty close, pretty clearly for Daryush for him to get the win. I think this is Daryush's fifth or sixth win in a row. He's just been smoking dudes, and he almost finished Diego Ferreira in the first round with that knee to the body. That knee was vicious. But then, yeah, I was also shocked too that Daryush was going into Diego's world with the grappling and the wrestling and the jiu-jitsu. He didn't care.
Yeah, but Benil is also a world champion in grappling and in jiu-jitsu. So it's not like he was out of his comfort zone. But yeah, go ahead.
But even Daryush too, he ate some bombs and he just kept coming forward. Because in the first round, I saw he was about to get KO'd too. Because I remember there's some punches that he ate. And yo, Benil, what are you saying, dog? This get some head movement going. You know what I mean? Because there's some bombs where he ate them and then just didn't, The guy just hung in there, and I'm like, yo, how did Benil not get KO'd after eating that bomb? But anyways, Daryush is my guy. I want to see him move up and fight the top 10 opponents now, because I do think Ferreira is ranked 10th. So now it's, they're giving him to the animals of the 155 division. Maybe somebody like Tony Ferguson would be nice to see against Daryush, because Daryush is kind of ranked number 10 now. Tony has lost his last two fights. So Daryush is somebody that Tony should beat based on the credentials and the opponents that people have fought. And then it would be a solid opponent for Benil, because if he beats Tony Ferguson, then he's in that top 5, top 6 echelon of the lightweight division. So that's who I pick. Darryl, what did you think?
Yeah, no, 100%. I echo the testament. I'm not gonna rehash everything that you said. Benil, very, very good dominant performance. His takedowns were really the main difference in this fight. On the stand-up, it was pretty even. Benil, I think, hits harder than Diego. Diego was 19-2 before this fight, and his one other loss was to Benil. Maybe Benil just has his number. You never know, right? So it was a very, very, very interesting fight. I loved Benil's move forward and DC said something. It's like Benil makes you fight with your ego. Like he's just gonna move forward. He's just gonna be throwing shots at you. Once he touches you, you're gonna be like, all right, what's this guy doing? I'm gonna throw back, and then you start fighting with your ego and you throw out your game plan. So that's always been his goal. So yeah, I'd love to see him fight Tony, Diego, maybe a Dan Hooker. Like, yes, that is a step up from Benil, but both of them are coming off of a loss. It's a dangerous fight for Hooker. And yes, he's going to be fighting someone above the top 10, but like, dude, you just lost twice in a row, right? So you got to give and you got to take. But yeah, we'll move on to Andre Pantoja versus Manel Cap. Now, there's a lot of hype around Starboy Cap, and it really, this performance really pissed me off because he waited until the third round for him to actually start showing a little bit of urgency, right? I'm like, yo, Manel, yes, the first round, whatever, you can throw that away so you can get your timing, get the jitters gone, but he just kept on dancing around the ring. I'm like, Manel, I was like, Manel, you got to throw more. Even DC was saying, is that, yeah, like he's landing a higher percentage than Alexandre, but Alexandre is just throwing way more strikes. What, 60 more total strikes attempted and 20 more landed for Pantoja, right? It's just like, I don't know. And then he starts grappling, taking him down in the third round. I'm like, well, Manel, you've already lost the first 2 rounds, right? You're the one backing up the whole time. Octagon control went to Pantoja. Do I think Pantoja has what it takes to bang with Figueiredo and those boys? Yeah, for sure. Like I liked his boxing. I liked his handiwork. And Manel moves a lot like Figueiredo, in the sense that he's always moving. His head's off the center line. His feet are constantly moving. His shoulders are showing you different looks. So it's quite interesting to see that part of the fight. But I was very disappointed with Manel, and he's got to do better, man. I'm sorry. He's really got to do better. But yeah, I think Pantoja, after Moreno and Figueiredo have a bout, he should face Pantoja should face Royval, and then the winner gets the next title shot. So that's what I think. What do you think?
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. I don't know. I guess Manel started a little slow. And the thing is, Pantoja was throwing some nice kicks, bro. Like the guy was just throwing bare kicks in the first round or two. And I'm like, yo, Cape is just he's getting his legs kicked, he's getting his body kicked, like he's just eating a lot of kicks.
It was really pissing me off, man. Really pissing me off.
And then I don't know what Dana was thinking, putting this card, or sorry, this fight so high on the card above Benil and stuff. Like I don't know what the logic was, Dana. Like,
don't ever do that again.
not the dancing part, just the don't ever do that again part. You know what I'm trying to say. But anyways, Dana, what were you thinking putting that fight so high up on the card above Benil Daryush? That was a little crazy to me. Shout out to Benil, by the way, for winning fight of the night. This guy always brings it, always wins that 50K. That should be his new nickname. But anyways, I don't have much to say about this fight. I agree with everything that Daryl said. I don't know why he waited to the third round. DC was on point as well with what needed to happen during the fight. And we'll move on to the next one. Next one, we had Michael the Menace Johnson versus Clay the Carpenter Guida. So Clay Guida is a guy that's been in the UFC for God knows how long. More than 10 years, 15 years. Like this guy, I don't even know how he's literally like, I don't know how old he is. Maybe he's 40, but
yeah,
this guy has unlimited. He has unlimited cardio. Like the guy just never gets tired. He's always bouncing and stuff. He's probably the most like he's kind of crazy, to be honest. Like most UFC fighters know, this guy is nuts, right? So and then Michael the Menace Johnson, like I don't know what's going on with this guy. Yes, he landed more strikes compared to Clay Guida, but he did get taken down a couple times. And like Clay Guida was one that's putting the pressure on Michael Johnson. Michael Johnson has beat Tony Ferguson. He's beat Dustin Poirier. He rocked Khabib. He's like one of 2 fighters ever to like put Khabib in a precarious position. And he's the menace. And then like he most of his fights, he's like dominating guys and gets KO, dominating guys and gets submitted second round. Like, yo, what's this guy say? Clay Guida is a guy that the menace should have just beat soundly. He is a favorite coming into this fight. A lot of people like, yo, Michael Johnson's got this. And then I was watching the fight. I'm like, what's Michael Johnson saying? He's getting rocked by Clay Guida in the first round. I'm like, no way. Clay Guida was landing like left hooks over and right. So Michael Johnson, I'm like, yo, this is crazy, dog. MJ, he went down to the featherweight division. He tried to, find some success there. It didn't work out for him. He came back to lightweight. It didn't work out for him now. He's taken 4 L's in a row. I have no idea what's going on with Michael Johnson, man. Like, I think somebody that was commenting on our Instagram page. He said that ever since he lost to Khabib in that brutal beating, he has never been the same. And I actually thought about that. I'm like, you know what? That's actually a fair point, because Khabib beat the brakes off of Michael Johnson for 3 straight rounds. And yeah, man, fighters aren't the same after they fight Khabib. Look what Khabib did to Barbosa, man. Like, the guy's never been the same since. Hasn't gotten his feeling heel kick KO since he fought Khabib, bro. So I'm like, yo, Khabib changes fighters, bro. So I get it. And yeah, I don't know. I'm sure the UFC is gonna cut him now, because that's 4 straight L's. And yeah, sad L. I don't know what to say about Guida, to be honest. He shouldn't be in the UFC either. So yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, Clay's still got it, man.
Mm-hmm.
Is it good? I mean, it beat Michael, but is that really an accomplishment at this point? Like, this
He's
dude's
got
just on such
something.
like, no, like, he's a very good fighter. Clay's a very good fighter. Do I think he needs to shave his head? Of course, but like, that's due to personal reasons. But no, I'm just joking, guys. But no, it was a very good performance by Clay. Very wrestling heavy based, top pressure based. He's just throwing that overhand right when you think he's reaching for your leg. It's gonna stun you. Very good fight, and I don't want to waste you guys' more time. Just both old guys. Just who cares what's happening after? So we'll move on to Corey Sandhagen versus Frankie the Answer Edgar. Guys, I mean, this was over in 30 seconds. I feel so bad for Frankie. No, you'd never want to see a legend get put out like that. And it just speaks to how good Corey is, man. Like, his game planning for guys, his execution of the strikes that he wants to throw, the timing, like this. And he's young. How old is Corey? 28?
Yeah, he's in his 20s. I don't know how old he is, but he's definitely
like he's definitely one of the brightest stars in this division. He's what, 5'11", and I think Frankie's around the same size as Peter Yan, and you could just see how much bigger Corey was than Frankie. So there's no one who can tell me that Corey's not next in line after Aljo and Peter Yan, because that's just like, dude, 2 straight first round TKOs of top contenders in the division. Like, there's no denying this man. And I don't know, man. He keeps getting better and better. His timing, his finishing. He's dangerous, man. I don't know. I don't even know what else to say. Give him a title shot, Frankie. It might be time to hang it up, because it's not like you're gonna beat anyone else in the top level of this division. If you just want to have some fights to give some young guys some comeuppance, if that's what you want to do, go ahead. But that's my 2 cents. What do you think, Asher?
Yeah, I think it's tough, right? Like, Frankie Edgar, like, he was a 155-pound champ. He tried to go down to 145, get the belt there against Max Holloway. He fought Jose Aldo too for the belt too, if I'm not mistaken. He had a couple title shots at 145. He tried to do the champ thing. That didn't work out. Not, you know what I mean, champion at 2 weight divisions, not champ, like holding 2 belts at the same time. So that didn't work out for him. He said, you know what, screw it, I'm gonna try and get a belt at 135. He arguably lost his first fight against Pedro Munoz, and then his second fight at 135, he gets Corey Sandhagen, who's like a beast, and then flying knee KO. No one's ever KO'd Frankie Edgar. I know Brian Ortega threw that uppercut that dropped Frankie. That was more of a TKO. Frankie wasn't out cold. This one was like, man, was out cold, bro. I was like,
nigga went stiff, bro. I was like, it was one of those where you're so happy for Corey and so sad for Frankie. You know what I'm saying? It's like mixed emotions. You're like, should I be happy right now? Yeah, and I was like posting the knockouts to my story. I'm like, good night number 1, good night number 2. It was a great night. This you gotta find ways to keep yourself entertained during quarantine. So yeah, I mean, beautiful work by Corey.
Yeah, it was some brutal stuff. Yeah, I feel bad for Frankie. He's getting up there in age. He's almost 40. And a lot of people have just said, you're just retire. I think he doesn't need to retire just yet, but in terms of him thinking of getting a 135-pound title shot, it's like, dude, there's just like Peter Yan waiting. You can't get through Sandhagen, and like Aljo, like, I guess that's a more favorable fight for him because Sterling does have like a wrestling style fight and Edgar is a wrestler, so maybe he should have just waited to like face Sterling. But like, God, man, Even Marlon Moraes would probably mess up Frankie Edgar, to be honest.
No.
So
Listen. Magic Marlon. He's got to get a few wins before he gets to Frankie, man. That's all I'm saying.
yeah.
He's lost the magic. But yeah, we'll move on. Alistair Overeem versus Volkov. The Demolition Man versus... Yo, the Demolition Man looks gun shy right now at heavyweight. Yo, Alistair, you gotta throw something, brother. He just goes up against the cage, just shells up like this. He's
My God, I'm like, yo, Alistair, what are you saying? I'm like, yo, this guy, like, I was like, yo, did he actually go to the octagon today just to get hit? Like, I was like, what's this guy actually saying? The guy who literally just stand like this. They just eat like 5-6 punches, then move on. I'm like, yo, Overeem, like, you can't keep doing this against. Oh.
Drago hits hard. He looks like he does. He hits like a pillow, but like he hits hard, man. You know what I mean?
Especially when you've taken as much damage as Overeem, you don't want to get hit that much, bro.
I mean, Asher, like that dude has what 68 pro MMA fights. That doesn't even include his kickboxing fights. He's walking brain damage. You know what I'm saying? Like he needs like, but honestly, like I think that it's gone past the point where you should care about CTE if you're Overeem. You know what I mean? It's like being a lifelong smoker. You smoked till you're 90. Why would you stop smoking at 90 years old? You know what I'm saying?
It is what it is.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's past the point of no return. So for CTE Overeem, like why not keep fighting? You know what I'm saying? Like he's not getting TKO'd every loss he gets TKO'd, but like it's like oh. The heavyweight division is not the division to stay past your prime. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
you take a lot of damage.
Yeah, like among the smaller guys, maybe they'll take you down, maybe choke you out. But like heavyweights are just throwing bombs, man. And the only thing I see is the way Volkov fights with the stand-up heavy approach. Like, how's he gonna fare against Ngannou? Because like Volkov does get touched. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Alistair landed a mean left hand down the middle, and it stunned Volkov. You can't take that from Ngannou. Ngannou does that, you're going to sleep. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. We'll look to see how it goes. Overeem, maybe he can face JDS in the battle of who's retiring next. Maybe we could see that because who do you give him next? Tom Aspinall? Tom Aspinall would sleep Overeem too. You know what I'm saying? So I would like to see more wrestling from Overeem. He is a kickboxer, but like with Drago, you got to take him down. Like that's the
Let's wrestle, kid. Let's wrestle.
Exactly. Like you know where I'm going with this. But yeah, what did you think, Asher?
Yeah, I always thought the exact same thing. I was like, why is Overeem not going for a takedown, bro? Like, you cannot just shell up and take shots to the dome. Like, the thing is, these are 4-ounce gloves. It's not like boxing where like you have like your big gloves that can kind of cover more of your head and you can kind of do a peekaboo and then try and like block. Men's stiff head, bro. Just did this and then eating punches. I'm like, yo, dude. I'm like, yo.
The left hook that dropped him came around his guard too. So it's
I'm
like,
dude,
Alex,
it was like it was really just there for the opening. Oh, Drago was like, oh, say a word. You're just gonna do that? Boom, left hook. And like his face too. I'm like, oh man, I saw some pictures on social media, like the cut, like literally went from one eye to the other eye, like literally like this.
Yeah,
it
was along his eyebrow. Along his eyebrow, it got cut. It was bad.
I'm like, dude, like you gotta stop, man. Like, and the thing is, it sucks too, because like it's hard to say now that he should stop because like the next opponent over him could go there and dust him. You know what I mean? Like he won like what 3 straight fights before this one, 3 or 4 straight.
So like 4 because Rosenstrike, he did get TKO'd, but like.
So like it's tough, like for us to come and say like he needs to retire because of that L. So like I don't want to be that guy.
He's not going to be champ though. Like you're approaching 40. What are you fighting for?
And then there's the people waiting. If he beat Volkov, the people waiting are Cyril Gahn and Rosenstrike. Like, yo,
and Curtis Blades.
Like, yo,
Razor Blades already. Razor Blades already.
Cut him up, bro. So that's what I'm saying. I'm like, it's not looking good for Alistair. So hey, man, you've been there, you tried your best, it didn't work out. So it is what it is. But we'll wrap it up, guys. What did you think about the fights? Obviously, it was a fun card, a lot of exciting fights. Next week we got Mr. Kamaru. He's back in the picture. The Nigerian Nightmare versus Gilbert Burns. I'm like, hey, he's back, baby. Hey.
I was talking to one of my boys. It's actually Connor's boy, but he's a Niger man. I was like, yo, who you got, Burns or Usman? He's like, you already know I got my nigga for my country, bro. I was like, let's go, Kamaru. Let's go. Let's go. All of Nigeria's got his back, bro.
Got Usman. So you were looking forward to that fight, obviously. It's going to be fun. There's also a couple other fights, I think, on that card that are a little bit exciting. So, yeah, man. Thank you guys for listening. It's been awesome. And we'll check you out in the next episode. Any last words, Daryl?
Nah, take it easy, guys. We love the engagement. Keep reaching out. Keep talking. Gabe, you're a G. We love you, bro. We got to get you back on soon. Hopefully the shirt fits and everything. So thanks, guys. Take it easy and have a good one. All right, Ash.